You know the feeling, right? Those mountains of documents, the endless hours of scanning for that one critical clause, and just that constant nagging worry that you might miss something. If you work in compliance or due diligence, you live this. It's a process that's just begging for a smarter way. Well, today we're going to look at a platform that's trying to do exactly that. Deliver AI-powered diligence that you can actually trust.
So here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll dive into what we're calling the compliance nightmare, the problem we all face. Then we'll introduce the solution, Compliance OS. We'll get into its key features, like its traceability engine, the on-demand AI experts, and, this is a big one, its promise on data security. And finally, we'll see how it all comes together to paint a picture of the future of review.
All right, let's kick things off with the problem itself. Part 1, the compliance nightmare. Or why the way we've been doing document review is, well, it's kind of broken.
I mean, this question pretty much says it all, doesn't it? It hits right at the heart of the matter for anyone who's been up against a deadline. Think about it. Venture capital deals, massive vendor contracts, internal audits. The sheer amount of text you have to sift through is just a huge drain on time and money. It turns highly skilled work into a really high-stakes game of find the needle in the haystack.
And this really lays out the gap perfectly. On one side, you have the reality of manual review. It's slow, it's incredibly expensive, and let's be honest, it's dangerously prone to errors. I mean, we're only human, right? Fatigue sets in. But the goal, where we all want to be, is the complete opposite, a process that's fast, cost-effective, and gives you consistent, accurate results every single time.
Okay, so we've got the problem locked in. Now let's turn to the solution they're proposing. Part 2. Introducing Compliance OS, which they are calling a whole new category of analysis platform.
So what is this thing exactly? At its core, Compliance OS is an AI-powered document analysis platform. But the most important part of that sentence is the very end, while keeping them in control. This isn't about AI taking over. It's about giving professionals superpowers.
And they've made the workflow incredibly straightforward. It's really just 4 simple steps. You upload your documents, you pick a playbook, which is basically just a preset list of questions you want answered, you hit Run Analysis, and then you review the results, which, and this is key, are completely verifiable.
Of course, whenever you hear the letters A and I together, the first question that pops into your head is, can I actually trust the answers it gives me? And that brings us to the absolute core of this platform. Part 3, the traceability engine. It's all about building that trust with answers you can actually check.
This quote pretty much sums up their whole philosophy. AI-generated answers are only useful if you can verify them. This thing is designed to be the exact opposite of a black box. The entire point is that the human expert, that's you, has to be able to check the AI's homework and do it fast. And just look at the difference when you put it side by side with a generic AI tool. Compliance OS is built from the ground up to give you direct, verbatim quotes from the source for every answer it gives. It provides page and section numbers, it gives you a confidence score, and even has a secondary verification step. These aren't just nice-to-have features. They're the building blocks of a real professional audit trail.
So how does it actually do this?
Well, it uses this really cool 3-part process. First, the AI comes up with an answer. But then, and this is the crucial part, it immediately shows its work. It gives you the direct evidence, the quote, the source, and then, this is my favorite part, a second, completely separate AI model comes in and acts like a critic, checking the first answer to see if it made any unsupported claims. It's like having a built-in peer review for every single finding. That whole verification process boils down to a simple confidence score. So next to an answer, you might see something like 92%. But here's what's so important. If the system isn't confident or if the information just isn't in the documents, it'll tell you that straight up. There's no guesswork involved.
Okay, so trust is the foundation, we get it. But the real power comes from the sheer depth of the analysis. And that brings us to part 4, 6 experts on demand. This is all about getting analytical power from multiple angles.
The idea here is just so powerful. You don't just get one generic AI reading your documents. No, instead, you get 6 distinct expert AI personas that review everything, each looking at it from their own unique professional point of view. So let's meet your new on-demand team. You've got a financial accountant persona who's looking for fiscal risks. You've got a commercial lawyer spotting potential liabilities, an ISO auditor checking for compliance gaps, a GDPR officer flagging privacy issues, and the list goes on. It's literally like having a whole panel of specialists review every single document, and it happens instantly. Okay, so we've got a traceable AI with a team of built-in experts. But for any serious company, there is another absolutely non-negotiable question. What are you doing with my data? And that leads us to part 5. Your data stays yours, which is all about security.
And on this point, they make a crystal clear promise. We don't train on your documents. What that means is your sensitive contracts, your internal M&A docs, your competitive intelligence, it all stays yours. It's never, ever used to train any AI models. And that promise is backed up by a really solid security posture. On top of the no training policy, the platform is GDPR compliant, it's aligned with ISO 27001 standards, it supports data sovereignty if you need your data to stay in a specific region, and of course, everything is encrypted. So, where does all of this leave us? Let's bring it all home in our final section, Part 6, the future of review. This is really about making that shift from being stuck in a manual bottleneck to becoming what they call an expert accelerator.
The potential here is, well, it's pretty dramatic. We're talking about a performance boost of up to 12 times faster than doing it the old way. But this isn't just about going faster. It's about changing the nature of the job itself. Your focus shifts from the boring, tedious work of searching to the high-value work of analyzing and verifying.
Think about what this does to your daily workflow. The before state is all too familiar. Hours and hours spent just hunting for clauses, with a high risk of missing something and getting inconsistent results. But the after is a whole new world. You spend seconds, not hours, verifying evidence that's already been found and cited for you. Your real job becomes applying your expert judgment to what the AI has surfaced.
And this quote just brings the whole thing home. The creators are very clear. They don't think AI should replace human judgment. Not at all. Their goal is to make that expert judgment faster, better informed, and way more consistent, all by giving you hard evidence you can check with your own 2 eyes.
And that really brings us to the final big question, a question for you, really. Imagine your workflow, but where every single finding, every single point, is backed up by a direct, verifiable citation. What could you achieve with that kind of certainty and at that kind of speed? That's the future they're proposing.